Good morning. How are you guys doing? It is good to see everybody. We are live. It is Friday morning. You've made it to the end of end of the week and the beginning of an awesome weekend. How is everybody doing? We'll give everybody I started just a minute or so early, so it gives everybody a chance to get on. Karina, Leslie, Eddie, EJ, Reading Time with Silas. Hello, Lindsay. Good to see you. It is just a gorgeous. Now the time has changed. It's kind of a perfect time to be able to go out and take a walk right around the 7 o'clock hour. For sure. Okay, it is 7:15. We are going to get started because we are going to keep these morning streams to a tight 45 minutes. So with that, we'll get going and we'll talk about everything along the way. So I'm going to set my watch here. Get myself organized. Get my watch going. And ready, set, perfect. We are here at Disney's Port Orleans. Good morning, Vicky and Fred. We are here at Port Orleans, the French Quarter side of the resort. And this is probably my favorite of the moderate resorts for this particular reason. You know, especially in the mornings like this, where it's just this very calm, peaceful, serene atmosphere. And I intentionally thought, you know what, I'm going to start the walk over along the water today so you guys can see how beautiful this particular property is. You know, some of them have a lot going on. If you're by the Skyliner, it's nice to use a Skyliner. But sometimes there's people who are looking for that opportunity to be able to kind of have a resort that's here, but maybe not in the thick of it. And Port Orleans comes to mind as one of those places. Oh, that sunrise is just, oh, it makes my heart happy. So kind of the end of the road here, but we'll kind of swing back around, make a little U-turn. I just wanted to walk kind of down towards the sunrise to kick everything off, get you guys going. You should have started your watch just about 1 minute ago. While we get started and we talk about the Port Orleans, and I'm going to talk about some motivational things, we're going to take just my U-turn here, and then we'll be back on the same path now for the rest of the walk. No U-turns needed any further, so sorry anybody who's on the treadmill. If you are just joining us, welcome, hello. If you are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. We are out. This is a very different stream than some of the other things that Adam and I do. Is morning motivational, fitness related walk. I'm going to chit chat through all of the video as we have these beautiful scenes in front of us. But if you'd rather just put us up on your big screen, put us and watch the scenes in front of you while you're on the treadmill, the spin bike, or maybe you know, as you're having your morning coffee, you can always pop in some earbuds and put in alternative music. So we'll walk this main walkway, and we'll get in through some of the buildings a little bit today. But this main walkway here connects the French Quarter, which we are at right now. I would say it's most notorious and well known for its amazingly delicious beignets. And while I don't normally say, hey, go walk, go work out, but then have the 12 beignets that are over here. And this is one of those occasions where it's worth your time. It's actually a perfect morning or anytime. They even have specialty beignets depending on the season. I didn't get to check. I'm sure that they most likely have some sort of seasonal Christmas beignet. They just finished on Haunted Mansion, you know, like a Halloween seasonal beignet that was delicious. Oh, it was delicious. It had like a cookies and cream type flavor to it, coating on the outside. And then, of course, you've got dipping sauces. See, you know, this is less, we're getting off topic about fitness and more into the deliciousness of this resort. But, you know, you have a great run, walk. I think you can treat yourself once in a while. I think that's important. So here, at the Port Orleans French Quarter, you'll note, similar to some of the Disney resorts, not all of them, they have all exterior entrances. Some people love it, some people hate it. But it's something to note that if you're not the biggest fan of outdoor entrances, Port Orleans may not be ideal for you. And that's just personal preference. I've run into people that it's just really something that they're not into. So that is something to note. Outdoor entrances here. I do need to do a morning walk over at the Coronado Springs again, because they've got the best of both worlds. They have a beautiful tower that you can stay in, but they also have some outdoor rooms, kind of like this style, where and they were just renovated in the last couple of years over at Coronado. So Port Orleans is split into two resorts. You have the French Quarter side, which we're at now, but the Riverside, although has equally delicious food, as I mentioned, the beignets over here, I will say probably Port Orleans Riverside, which we're going to head into in just a second, is probably more people know it for the River Roost Lounge and Yeehaw Bob Jackson, his entertainment on the piano. I would say most nights. He was just on quite a long vacation. I think he comes back this weekend. He was over in the Middle East, actually. And I don't remember exactly which country. I read it, and everybody's excited that he's coming back. So always check his schedule. And if you're not staying here, I have to say that Port Orleans is one of the few resorts that if you wish to come in and you want to check out Yeehaw Bob Jackson in the evening, and usually it's later evening. I think his first show is like around 8 and the second one's about 10, and he goes to like midnight. So he's a later entertainment option. When you come up to the security here, they are usually one of the much more accommodating and understanding security departments here at this resort. So if you do want to come in and purchase some beignets, they have always welcomed that. You know, it's something to know. I know occasionally I have people ask, how do you get in and do your morning walks? Or how do you, if you're not staying there, how do you get to here or there? The majority of resorts here at Walt Disney World property. So if you are coming and you say, I would really love to just do my morning walk or my morning jog at this particular hotel or that particular hotel, The boardwalk used to be pretty easy, and they were very understanding if you said, oh, I just want to come and walk and do a run around Crescent Lake. I would say in the last couple years, I would say right around the pandemic, I wouldn't say it was, but at least the last 3 or 4 years, they cracked down tremendously. So I tend to park at Hollywood Studios, or if I'm going to treat myself and I'm doing a walk over at the boardwalk, I will arrange and have a breakfast reservation at the Trattoria, and maybe I'll have a press pot coffee and, you know, whatever I decide that morning. So it depends on what you're doing. Most resorts, what is a bummer is it's not so easy to get over to Pop Century and Art of Animation. I know they have a great running and walking path over there. If I'm ever doing a walk over there in the morning, either somebody was kind enough to, you know, let us in as a guest. Maybe they're staying there and I come in just early morning to do the walk. Or perhaps I took the Skyliner. But a lot of these, something to consider, because I do get asked that most of them aren't really friendly to saying, hey, I know you just want to take a jog, just come on over. Some of them, yes, some of them, no. The Magic Kingdom resorts, if you want to go on to their walking path, that is a pretty strong no. They're not overly accommodating. And sure, there's always occasions where I'm sure somebody sweet talks the guy at the security gate, but you have to have a breakfast reservation. But Port Orleans is not, and that's where we're at. And they're really awesome. And so if you want to, you could get over here pretty easy. So we'll head on down here. This walk, that is about a mile and a half. The loop that I'm about to do is about a mile and a half. Here. So this is the main lobby area of the Port Orleans Riverside. Lots of people coming down for breakfast, getting ready for the parks. Yeehaw Bob's right in here. And Boat Rights is a restaurant. I would call it mediocre food. I was hustling. The gentleman in front of me was smoking. And I just figured I'll just jog ahead a little bit. So, speaking of getting in your Disney walks or runs, I'm fresh off of Disney's Wine and Dine weekend for RunDisney. It was fantastic, all of it. And if any of you guys were there, congratulations. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I know a lot of you guys have trips upcoming and planned. Sometime, I think Adam and I need to refilm some of these walking trails or running trails, just to have them kind of updated in our library of videos. But before I talk about my motivational thoughts for the morning. We are about 14 minutes in to our 45-minute walk this morning here at the Port Orleans. We'll talk a little bit about these resorts. I'm about to get into Christmas. We'll talk about Christmas, and then I'll talk about my motivational stuff, because I'll get into that and get talking and I'll forget about it. So I'm fresh off of RunDisney Wine and Dine weekend. And if you are coming up for marathon weekend, make sure you try to make your dining reservations now. They are going fast and furious, but if you are planning for that, lots of people training for Dopey. The Dopey race is only during the Walt Disney World Marathon weekend, which is first week in January every year. And that encompasses the 5K, the 10K, the half marathon, and the full. So I'm gonna, I'll talk about Christmas, and then let me get to that, because I want to talk about training. I had a lot of thoughts over this weekend when I was hearing everybody talk about their goals and where they're going. So I have a lot to say today about that. So I'm fresh off that weekend, getting into the week here. It's like full Christmas mode. I felt, you guys, I felt like this week from a YouTube blogger, we're not a blogger, but I felt from us going full blown Christmas everything, Christmas this, oh my gosh. I was so busy with RunDisney and focused on so much RunDisney. I came out of that weekend and all of a sudden I get into the parks. I think it was maybe Tuesday. And then I was definitely at Magic Kingdom on Wednesday to do some things. And it like smacked me in the face. I was like, it is Christmas everywhere. Everything Christmas is going on. Word on the street is that Epcot's decorations should be up in their entirety between today and tomorrow. So some should be there today. It should be full blown by tomorrow. So I felt like I went from Halloween, RunDisney, smack in the face Christmas. So I feel behind. I feel so behind. So tonight, if you don't have anything going on, it would be lovely if you would join us at Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. It is night 2. I'm super excited. And we are going to do all the things I did so silly. And kind of in your talking about all of our motivation and stuff, I had to kind of study the Christmas party, because I feel like there's an art sometimes to go into these events, making sure that you know kind of all the offerings they have so I don't miss anything, and planning and making sure these are the times that I want to be here, here, and here, and do this, and I want to go get my specialty treat that they have. So that's my lament a little bit about about our channel's diversity. So while every other channel has been going crazy for a week now into Christmas, Adam and I are just getting into it now. But don't think that we're not full of Christmas cheer, because we have a huge, wide range of Christmas festivities, and I feel it's just like back to back to back to back into the beginning of January. So speaking of RunDisney weekend, bring it full circle here and kind of my planning and training. There's, when you get going, we've talked a lot about how to get going for fitness, running, walking, whatever you might be interested in. or using this video for. But I think a big part of it is, how do you keep going? And then another question that comes up often, or people aren't prepared for, that's maybe more about it, is when you're preparing for a big thing like wine and dine weekend or a marathon weekend. Maybe you're running the 5K or the half or whatever it might be, and the big day is here. And we can talk about some prep for those things, for races. We can talk about that today. But the big day is here, and now it's over. And the excitement has worn off of the big race that you just prepped for. And you're kind of thinking, okay, well, now what? Where do we go from here? And what's next? You know, because it's really easy to fall off the ladder and just say, oh, that 13.1 miles, the medal looks really nice on my wall, and that was a great time, and, you know. But I think the key to everything that we're doing, and this is how it can be related to your personal life too, is just consistency. And the training has to continue. So once you build that consistency, you know, and going back at it and saying, you know, I just ran this big race and this was awesome. Perhaps you're a little sore. That's pretty common. Maybe you need to dial it back a little bit. I say after a race, there's a recovery time for me. So the 13.1 miles at this point, I've learned I get up and walk that same day. So if I'm running my 13 miles in the morning, I definitely do not go and, you know, kind of put on a movie and kick my feet up. I will more than likely make sure in some form or fashion that I get up and walk for a while. That nothing crazy, but that keeps your legs moving, that gets you know, them from cramping up, and it also keeps that motivation, if you ask me. So when you are done, I would say I would already have that in your training plan if you don't have anything booked. Salute to Travel in the USA, but mostly Disney has Princess booked. Awesome. Yeah, work sometimes gets in my way too. I don't know what Disneyland is on the line right now, so I'm hoping all that works out, but you never know sometimes. But I think part of it is in your training, in your preparations for your goals. Like after you have these big milestones, put it into your training plan as to what happens next after that milestone. And that's really key. So you can be on these really big highs and feeling great. I'm gonna go treat myself for a big dinner. And then pretty soon you're like, I just ran the race. I'm fine. I don't need to go out tomorrow. I'm going to give myself a rest day. Or 4 or 5. And I've been there. I have been there because I'm speaking from experience. You guys, I just want to give myself a little shout out. I don't like to say a lot of things about accomplishments that I've had, other than to kind of give you guys advice. But I was really proud this weekend, and I didn't mention it to Adam, and I didn't really mention it to anybody, but it was officially at Wine and Dine weekend. I double checked my medals. It has been 10 years for me, effective this last weekend with Wine and Dine. I technically started my RunDisney journey with what they had as the Tower of Terror 10 miler. But that's no longer. It was absolutely amazing. And that's what kind of kickstarted me into my Run Disney journey and keeping motivated. And that was 10 years ago. So I'm celebrating my 10-year anniversary running Run Disney, kind of changing my life around. And, you know, I think what I love about this is what I can give to other people, and to share that you can find out a lot about yourself in a year or 2 years, but I will tell you that over 10 years, I've seen it all. I have been through it all. I have had almost everything you can imagine affect me or lift me up. And I was really excited about that. I was really excited about that, to be able to say, like, it's official. You know, it's been 10 years with Run Disney, doing various weekends, various races. And I've been out, although I hadn't done every race weekend, I was there in some form or fashion. So maybe if I didn't run Princess Weekend in the early years, because, you know, these races are expensive, and just because you live locally doesn't make the price any better. And so I think of what I've done as a way to say, you know, it doesn't matter what age you are, right? Age is truly, in my mind, age is just a number. So when I'm talking to people about where to go next and how to get started or how to take it to the next level, it is, oh, that's awesome. Starting 2013 with the 20th anniversary marathon. Congratulations, Who Dat Dave. Congratulations. You know, it is an accomplishment. And so anything that I share is really because I've been through the trials. And I think that there's a lot of runners, just like in life, where people have a lot to say, and not all of it is, you know, well-rounded advice. You know, you can be running for a long time. There are some people who are really, really talented runners, but they may be elitists or just really enthusiastic, and their advice may not be always ideal, if, you know, because they are, I don't know, some of them have ever been in the last corral. I can say I've been both. I've been in the last corral. I've never done a dead last start, but I have been in the very, very front, and I've had some opportunities to have some pretty fast times, competitive times. Not competitive like I'd win anything. Not at Disney. I won't even come close, ever. But I would call myself the average runner. And so I've managed working things through work and kids, and it's all hard. But that's what I think is great about having a community that is with you, is behind you, is doing things alongside you. Because anything that you tell me, anything that you want to send me a private message about, sometimes people do, that says, I'm just really struggling. Sometimes you just need to write it out. Sometimes you just want to put it in the chat and say, like, I feel like I can't. And you can, because you think about what I was talking about earlier is training. You know, ultimately what I think is I'm most proud is yes, you can cross that finish line. And if you have never done it or you want to do it, when you cross that finish line or you meet that goal, And this is why you have to go out and do mornings like this. Do I love to get up first thing in the morning? Not at all. But it's mornings like this that when you cross the finish line, you know what my mind thinks of 9 times out of 10? You're thinking about, I did finish the race. That's great. But really your mind is racing and you're thinking about all of the hard work that you put in to get to that single very moment. And you cross the finish line, and that's what your mind's spiraling about. And if you've had that euphoria, you can put that in the chat. Or if you're watching the replay, please put a comment in. I love seeing the comments after the video is posted, and lots of people do it on the replay. So we are at 30 minutes here. You have 15 more to go while I dodge the golf carts. The morning is in full swing at Port Orleans. Ah! Safety first, guys. Sorry, safety first. I gotta make sure I had to slow down for a minute there. But that's why training is so important. That is exactly why training is so important, because even if you say, I'm hurt, or I'm sure there's something else you can try. My son Josh, who got into running, I've talked about him in a little bit of the races or the walks that I've done. So he's been on the Peloton bike. I helped him get on the Peloton bike, which, if you're not aware, has pedals that you clip into. And that's new to him. And it does take a little bit of a learning curve. And he was talking to me after he was done and said, I feel like I just can't get as good of a workout on the Peloton bike, but it does work different muscles. Yes. But that's the great piece of it. That is the great piece of it, is that you don't have to run every day. You don't have to walk every day. There are so many options. So I highly, highly recommend that in whatever your goal is, to rotate. And that's why I love the spin bike and as an alternative. And you know what? This is why I say I don't pay any mind to people on social media who can be loud and say things that maybe aren't productive. I am 500% on board with a walk as much as a run. And somebody might say, oh my gosh, Kristen, but that's not helping your pace. That's not doing this. And oh man, people are always ready to fight, aren't they? So here's why. Maybe it is just because I've come to grow older and see myself change in the different experiences. But changing things up a little bit, whether it can be a different method of fitness, a spin bike, for example, works different muscles, works different areas that ultimately make you better and stronger in what you're trying to achieve. For me, I know I've mentioned this before, but for me, the walks, they energize my mind. And sometimes you need that. For me, not everything is about, if I'm not running and I'm not pushing my pace, well, don't worry, tomorrow's a new day and I can work on that. But if I found in myself that if I don't take a moment to just enjoy the morning, it puts me in the right place mentally. And these walks that I'm doing with you, is it moving me towards an 8-minute mile? No. But am I getting out there? Yes. Is it good for my soul? Yes. Did I find benefit from getting out here? Yes. So exercising different things for different reasons, right? So no matter what you're doing a great job. You are benefiting yourself, you're benefiting your life, and ultimately then in turn you benefit those around you too. You know, because when you are in a good mindset, when you are happy and you're moving in the right direction, you're really bringing joy and happiness, not just to yourself, but to a lot of people around you. Good morning again, guys. That yes, crossing the finish line can be very, very emotional. We can talk about that for a minute. Okay, I gotta check my watch. We got about 10 minutes. I can figure out a 10-minute little loop here. So yeah, crossing the finish line at any particular race, to me, can be very emotional. Every finish line is different and brings a extreme level of pride for different reasons. And if you don't have something scheduled right now, get something on the books. Go look today. Go find something. Go participate in something. I know, we're looking at the local reindeer run coming up. And there's lots of those coming up. Lots of fun Christmas run walks. And it's fun to get involved with other people too. And when you have something planned, you get excited and you get motivated, right? That's what I love. I tend to always have something on the books. It's kind of like when you're planning your vacation. You're planning your vacation to Disney World. You now know, hey, I'm coming here. I better get looking at this. And maybe I better replace those old shoes that I've been that I've kept too long. I love them. They're my favorite shoes, but these are probably not the best to walk in the park. So I better, it gives you something to look forward to, something to plan for, something to motivate you in whatever you're after. But when you're at the finish line, yes, like I will tell you, I tend to shed a tear at a lot of the finish lines, for different reasons. I would say most times the thoughts in my head are revolving around the obstacles that I've overcome to get to this point. And if you're watching and saying, I don't really like to walk or run races, but maybe I want to bike, or this can apply to any goal that you want to set, because there's always going to be a day where you say, oh my gosh, today is the day I accomplished this. And when you cross that finish line of finishing that goal or meeting that goal, thinking about, because you did. It doesn't matter what anybody said. It doesn't matter how you got there, but you think about the obstacles that you face, the joy that you are knowing that you faced those obstacles and you overcame them and you made it. Ultimately, you made it happen. And then your mind starts to think about many of the people who got you there. So for me, one of the big reasons I run, and it's in my head a lot, is my two older children. It was me and them for a long time, and I would always picture them. They in the early years, There were some races that they ran with me, and those are some of my best memories. They really are. I probably like one of the best photos I have was me when they had kids races here at Walt Disney World. They just brought back. I was shocked. I didn't know this. I guess I wasn't paying much attention. But the Disneyland race weekend, RunDisney race, bleh, I can't talk this morning. The RunDisney race weekend, it's a lot of R's, has a kids races. And that, I guess I didn't notice when I signed up. I was probably just so fast, just quick, sign up, get it, go. They have kids races, and they were the highlight for me. And the kids still have their medals, and they were like plastic. It was the most fun in watching the parents interact. And there's kids that are available to get into the 5K. So you can't push a stroller, and there is restrictions. You need to look into those depending on the age of your child, but children can go to the 5K, and there's no time limit. So if you can get into a RunDisney 5K, you can make it. You can make it. I'm going to try really hard to get into a 5K. And just like you see me here, I'm going to try to walk it. Well, not try, I will. Because I absolutely would like the opportunity to show you guys that I'm not going to be walking fast to say anybody can do this, and you can be successful there. So, I think about when I cross the finish line, one, my kids, and when you finish a goal like that and you talk about meeting achievements and things like that. Here, I'll walk up ahead. There we go. Give the ladies a little bit of privacy as they're talking. I really strive to be a good example to my kids and helping them set their goals and showing them that they can achieve things. And the kids have kind of seen me through this running journey from the beginning. So I think about them a lot. And obviously, running with Adam is euphoric. And when you talk about crossing the finish line with a loved one and a milestone like that, some of you guys have put that in the chat, and how you've worked on that goal together. That is really, really exciting. And it can bring you a lot of emotions when you cross a finish line at a race. Like something that I don't know that I could replicate that feeling of when you're in a race, whether it's a local race. RunDisney is a whole other level. But to see thousands and thousands of people. So, if you're on your training runs and you're just getting disappointed or frustrated or thinking it doesn't matter, it absolutely matters. Every step that you take, every moment that you give a little bit extra does matter. And I'll tell you, when you, particularly at RunDisney, I will tell you, if you can get through the solitude of walking, running, training on a consistent basis, and then you get to a race, the amount of people cheering for you and clapping and motivating you, just the adrenaline kicks into high gear, and it really, really pushes you. It really, really pushes you. So the training is what gets you to the start line. You know, once you get to any kind of race. So if you're interested in, say, okay, Kristen, we've talked a lot about getting started. We talked a lot about 5Ks. How can we get into some longer distances? Because really my forte, my opinion, my preference is I like the longer distances. I really, really enjoy them. I find a lot of peace running the longer distances. And so we can get into that probably maybe in the next day of like, how do you go from a shorter mileage and building your mileage to something long distance, like a half marathon or a full. Because there is a lot of mental game to it, but there's not, there needs to be a lot of discussion about nutrition. Nutrition plays a huge role in when you are running distances. So we are in the last minute here. We're heading back into Port Orleans French Quarter. Time flies when you're having fun, right? So today we walked about, same thing that we did the last couple times, about that 17-minute mile. I took it a little leisurely today. I was having a good time. But remember, in anything that you're doing today, just remember the good of what you've done, the good of what you can do, doing a little bit extra and saying it was worth it, and telling yourself that you believe in yourself, because you are absolutely capable of more than you realize. Not enough people tell themselves that I am capable of more than I realize. And telling yourself it will be fine. Put so many of your worries aside and say, I can do this. Stop the stress, stop the worries. You can get done whatever you need to do and more, and you can absolutely make that happen. So this is our 45-minute mark. So if you are walking or jogging, you can wrap up, you can cool down here as I walk towards the lobby area. Thank you so much for joining today, you guys. It's been fabulous. If you've watched on the replay and are enjoying the run, I'd love for you guys to put a comment on the video after it's ended and just let me know. I'll try to schedule them when I can around all the other live streams that we have planned upcoming. So hit the subscribe button. That's the best way to do that, to find out when I have more. And then we will be getting into so much Run Disney and motivation as the days and the weeks and the months go on. So it has been a great time with all of you guys here. Let me try to flip the camera around a little bit. Say good morning. I realized I didn't do that earlier. As I walk towards the lobby, I'll say hello to you guys. It is an extremely peaceful day here at the Port Orleans. Like, I've got my marathon shirt on. So I'm hoping to do more of these when I can. I mean, it would be lovely if I could do once a week. I don't know if I can always accommodate that, but I want to take you guys around Walt Disney World property and give you guys much more of these opportunities where we can all talk together, we can all improve, because I do say it and I do mean it, that when we say we believe in each and every one of you, we think that you guys have all of the motivation that you need. You just need to find that spark. So with that, I will say have a amazingly wonderful Friday. Go out there, do it. And yes, lots of positive vibes for today. Have a great weekend. And don't forget, I'll be live tonight from Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party Night 2. And if you are looking for more of these videos, we have two options. You can go to the playlist to make it easy. Just make it easy on yourself. You can go to the playlist version of, or the tab on YouTube, and I've got a playlist for the lives. We've got lives that, like this one, and then there's a playlist for all of the treadmill videos that we have pre-recorded and set to music. So you can use those as well. And I will tell you, a lot of the ones that we filmed for the treadmill videos with the set to music, there are some ones where there's nobody in them at all. And some really, really neat videos that actually I like. I was just thinking I want to go back and watch a lot of them. So with that, I'm going to say have a great day, and I'll see you in just a few hours. Bye-bye.